Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Miguel back again with another video. And as you may have guessed from the title of this video, this is going to be a video where I'm going to tell you how I have managed to maintain 100% maximum battery capacity on my phone for nearly a year. Now, I've had this phone for over 10 months. And even after 10 months, the battery capacity is still at 100%. Now, the purpose of this video is to show you guys what you can also do to maintain 100% battery capacity with your iPhone. Now, if you don't believe that I've had this phone for about a year, I'll show you guys the exact date when the warranty is going to be expiring so you can have an idea. So right over here, you will be able to see that the limited warranty expires on September 1st, 2022. That means that we are less than 2 months away from the phone expiring, which essentially means that on a 1-year warranty, this phone is almost 1 year old. So having said that, as I mentioned, I do have 100% battery capacity, and I'm going to show you what things you need to do, some do's and don'ts, and some advice on making sure that you're also able to keep your battery at 100%. Now, this video doesn't apply to only those people that have a maximum capacity of 100% and want to keep it that way. But if you are paranoid like myself and want to make sure that your phone's battery lasts you the longest time, then this video is for you. I want to point out that ever since Apple started showcasing and telling you what the battery health is, it's made all of us a bit more paranoid into making sure that our battery lasts the longest. There was a time where Apple didn't showcase this, so I think those were the good days when you didn't know what your battery performance was and what capacity it had. But ever since it started showing us, we all started to worry. And the first time that I actually saw my battery fall in a previous iPhone, I couldn't sleep. Honestly, I couldn't sleep for a whole day because that was all I was thinking about. But hopefully this video should help you out in making sure that your battery or your iPhone battery lasts you the longest. The first point here is going to be about your charging cycles. Now, there's not a lot that you can do to avoid a charging cycle. Eventually, you are going to be hitting charging cycles, and every iPhone has around 500 charging cycles. That's according to Apple, before it actually comes to a level where you may need your battery to be replaced. Having said that, one thing that you can do is actually prolong your battery cycles. And the way that I do that is by making sure that my battery does not overcharge, which means I make sure that it doesn't go to 100%, but I also make sure that it doesn't fall below a certain percentage. And I've kind of figured out where the sweet spot is, which is anywhere between 50% and below the 100% mark. So after 50%, 85%, 95%, 70% is where you want to keep your iPhone charged at all times. And what that will do is essentially just prolong the charging cycles. As I said, you are going to hit a charging cycle, and a charging cycle is basically when your phone goes to 0 to 100%, that's one charging cycle. And it doesn't mean that if your phone doesn't hit 0 or 100, it's not going to cycle. If, let's say, your battery is at a 75% and it goes to 25%, you use 25% the next morning, that is going to be considered as one cycle. So you are still going to be hitting a charge cycle, but if you're smart about it, you can actually prolong it by a little bit, and that will make sure that your battery lasts you longer. Now, the next point here is in relation to heat. So you have to keep in mind, and some of you may already know this, that heat is your battery's #1 enemy. It's your biggest enemy when it comes to deteriorating your battery. Not only speaking about phones, but any type of battery will deteriorate faster and will degenerate faster if it's exposed to heat. For example, if you live in a hotter climate, your car's battery may not last you more than a year to a year and a half before you actually have to replace it. Similarly, if you live in a colder climate like up in Canada, the same battery may last you up to 4 to 5 years as well. So heat is your #1 enemy, and these next points are all related to making sure that your battery does not overheat. So you want to avoid doing anything that will heat up your phone. The first thing is using a genuine charger. Don't use third-party chargers. I have never used a third-party charger because I know that they are not stable, and there's proof that they do cause power surges, which means that they are going to be providing unstable wattage to your phone, and that's not only bad for your charger but for your phone itself because it can fry the circuit it can short circuit it, and you may end up with a dead phone altogether instead of just a bad battery. So you want to make sure that you always use a genuine charger. The next point here is about fast chargers. Now, I know that we live in 2022 where we have phones that are coming with 120-watt fast chargers, which will charge your phone from 0 to 100% in 20 minutes. If you're on the run and if you need a quick charge, then yeah, it's really good. But in the long run, it's really not healthy for your phone. It is gonna cause your battery to die faster because it heats up your faster. It's just not a natural process. It's not, batteries are not meant to be charged that fast. So what I've always done is use a 5-watt charger. Most of the times it's the one that comes with the box. Nowadays we don't have chargers in the box. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll go ahead and put up a picture here of a 5-watt charger. This is the charger that I use myself to charge my phone, making sure that it does not give it more power than is needed. And again, it's perfectly fine to charge your phone on a slow charger. It may be inconvenient, but if you are paranoid about your battery and you want to make sure that your battery does not degenerate, you want to use a slow charger. Also, talking about charging your phone overnight, a lot of people think that charging your phone overnight is actually not good for your phone, but it really depends on how you do it. So if your phone is about to die and if you put it on a 5-watt charger, there's a chance that your phone won't reach up to 100% by the time you wake up. So you want to make sure that you always use the 5-watt charger. So try to get your hands on one of those if you don't have one. The next thing when it comes to battery optimization is, you see this setting here? That's there for a reason. So you want to make sure that your optimized battery charging is always on. Now it says to reduce battery aging, iPhone learns from your daily charging routine, so it can wait to finish charging past 80% until you need to use it. What this means in simple English is that it's gonna learn a pattern of when you are gonna be using your phone and the times when you're not gonna be using your phone. So during the times when your phone is resting and is not charging, the charging is going to be slower than usual, so it's going to wait until it has to reach 80%. And when it detects that your phone is about to be used, for example, if it learns that there are specific timings when you use your phone more, that's the time when your phone is going to start charging at a normal pace, so that whenever you take your phone off from charging, you still receive a charged phone, but essentially it won't really hit 100%. So even your phone knows that it doesn't want to hit a charge cycle to reduce the battery aging, as it actually is mentioned here. One more point that I forgot to mention when it comes to fast charging is to avoid using wireless chargers. Now, I know, as I mentioned, we are in 2022. These are technologies that are coming up for our own ease, but at the same time, they also have a disadvantage to it. So wireless charging always tends to heat up your phone. I noticed the same thing when I used to do it. My phone was always heating up whenever a wireless charger was being used. And that is because wireless chargers a lot of the times use kind of like a fast charging technique, which will charge your phone faster, but it also will degenerate your battery faster at the same time. So you also want to avoid using a wireless charger. Now, the next point here is making sure that your software is always up to date. And I'm not just saying this, Apple actually also mentions this on the website, that if you want to make sure that your battery health is at an optimum level, make sure to update your phone, because that will make sure that there's no bugs in the system or in your software that will damage your battery. So if there's any bugs that are draining your battery more or making it work more than usual or heating it up, the software update will make sure that those bugs go away. So always make sure that your phone is up to date. Now, this next point is going to be a little bit weird and maybe unusual. And I was actually surprised to see it on Apple's official website. But remove your cover, your phone's cover, if you need to. Now, I'm not telling you to remove your cover completely and keep it off at all times. But if you need to take it off, if you feel that your phone is heating up, because your phone will sometimes overheat when it's going a software update or when it's charging, or if it's being used more than usual, you want to make sure that your phone is able to dissipate that heat. So if you need to, take off your cover for a little bit and then put it back on once your phone is back to temperature. Last but not least, which is my favorite option or the favorite feature that I've seen on phones so far, is dark mode. I always keep dark mode on, and not only because it's easier on the eyes, but it also helps you with your battery. I mean, obviously, when you have a bright white screen here as compared to a dark screen, you are going to be saving on the battery. So that's one thing to consider if you do want to make sure that your battery is not draining faster and you don't have to charge it so often. So dark mode is something that will help you preserve your battery for longer. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any tips or tricks in mind, please make sure to comment and mention them in the comment section below. If you like the video, please consider subscribing and liking. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.